Business news, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria has voted to maintain or keep monetary policy rates as it monitors unfolding economic conditions in the near term. The decision was announced by the CBN governor and the MPC chairman, Mr. Olayemi Cardoso, following the committee's 300th meeting held in Abuja. Uloma Imachi reports.
2-month interval since its first session of the year, the Monetary Policy Committee has convened for its second meeting in 2025, marking the 300th sitting since inception. Governor Olayemi Cardoso announced that the committee unanimously voted to retain the monetary policy rate at 27.50%. The cash reserve ratio remains at 50% for deposit money banks and 16% for merchant banks. The liquidity ratio stays at 30% and the asymmetric corridor at plus 500 to minus 100 basis points around the MPR. Mr. Cardoso explained that the decision aims to provide room for the committee to better assess near-term economic developments. He also noted a marginal improvement in inflation, with headline inflation easing from 24.23% to 23.71%, a 0.52 decrease.
The committee, however, acknowledged underlying inflationary pressures driven largely by high electricity prices, persistent foreign exchange demand pressure, and other legacy structural factors.
Despite this progress, the MPC expressed concerns about declining crude oil production and falling global oil.
The MPC, however, expressed concerns about the recent decline in crude oil prices attributable to increased production by non-OPEC members, as well as uncertainties associated with U.S. trade policy.
Cardoso said the MPC acknowledges relative improvements in key macroeconomic indicators and welcomes innovative fiscal policies implemented by the federal government. Although the inflation rate has dropped from earlier highs, as cited by the committee chairman, it is still in double digits, which remains a source of concern for Nigeria's economic outlook. However, the CBN governor has assured that the current policy direction will yield positive results. Results Nigerians are waiting to see. Uloma Oyemachi, TVC News, Abuja.
And in other news, the Securities and Exchange Commission says Nigerian companies raised approximately 446 billion naira from the capital market between January and April 2025. Director General of SEC, Mr. Emitomi Agama, noted this at the Capital Markets Committee meeting which held on Monday in Lagos. This is as the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, has also underscored the invaluable role of the capital market in realizing Nigeria's ambitious vision of establishing a $1 trillion economy. Mr. Edun, who was represented by the Minister of State for Finance, Dr. Doris Uzoka Anite, outlined the market's significant transformation since 2015. He stated that key improvements, including enhanced governance structures, the introduction of innovative products and platforms, a more robust regulatory environment, and increased investors' participation.
The ISA Investment and Securities Act 2 of 2025 actually brought in a number of new innovation and new areas that the former ISA did not capture. And as you are aware, since the last ISA, 2007, to now, there's been a lot of innovation in the market. Things like digital assets, fintech regulation, even real estate.
It's a game changer in all perspectives. As to how we are viewed internationally, our membership of IOSCO, new products, new establishments, new governance strategies, in every way, because it speaks to enforcement, it speaks to innovation, it speaks to digitalization, it speaks to internationalization, and it speaks to the efficiency of our market.
ISA now empowers the capital market to be at the forefront of driving our economy. It creates more space for governance now. It creates more space for regulatory framework to function better, for investors to have more confidence in that capital market ecosystem.
Away from markets, President of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, CITN, Mr. Samuel Agbelu, is appealing to the federal government to ensure full implementation of the tax reform bills passed by the National Assembly when it becomes law, which he says will boost the confidence of taxpayers across the country. The CITN president made the appeal at the investiture of the sixth national chairperson of the Society of Women in Taxation, Dr. Caroline Ondobusi, in Abuja. He highlights that no implementation of tax laws often stems distrust from citizens, especially when politicians and leaders fail to judiciously utilize collected taxes. Mr. Agbelu reiterates the importance of taxation as the most sustainable source of government revenue.
As an institute, in the implementation of this, of the soon-to-become Act of the National Assembly, and in playing the leader or standing in the front row in the implementation, we keep on appealing to our political leaders to ensure that whatever amount is collected from the citizens, they should please use for the populace. Judicious usage of tax revenue helps in voluntary compliance, and we will be tired of saying this. And voluntary compliance lower the cost of collection of taxes.
Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria and the Society of Women in Taxation, you have a big role to play in assisting government to ensure that people are willing to pay tax and creating an environment for successful taxation system. And I know that you are capable of doing that.
Our mandate is to promote the interests of women intellectually and to undertake campaigns all over the sectors in Nigeria. And of course, for the women to also be recognized as a force to reckon with in the tax profession.
Well, outside our shores, Asian stocks rose today while United States Treasury yields steadied, allowing breathing room for the United States dollar as investors took stock of the debt load of the world's biggest economy and awaited trade deals. European features pointed to a higher open ahead of a first estimate of consumer confidence for Eurozone in May. That left the MSCI's broadest index of Asian Pacific shares outside Japan 0.33% higher, hovering near the 7-month high touched last week. China's blue chip index climbed 0.6% after local central bank courts benchmark lending rates for the first time since October. Hong Kong Hang Seng index rose 1.33%, boosted by healthcare stocks after U.S. drug maker Pfizer said that it would license an experimental cancer treatment for Chinese biotech 3S Bio Incorporated. Well, crude oil prices stayed steady today as traders weighed the impact of supply from Russia and Ukraine peace talks and United States-Iran negotiations and a cautious outlook for China's economy. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude rose to $62.70 and it's a positive 0.02%. Brent crude futures sells for $65.50 and it's down 0.06%. Bonnie Light sells for $78.62 with a downward review of 2.84%. For the OPEC basket, dealers offer 60